what's going on, guys. Every time I come into the room, these guys just freeze frame where they're at. It looks like a 1, 2, 3 kid just about was going through a table. Alright, I guess he'll get it when I leave later. So anyway, we got an unboxing to do right quick. And this one is not from FMS. That's right. We got a sponsored item from a different company. They're a small company. Let's just go ahead and get it out here. Let me see. They're called Minimum RC. And I seen this little miniature RC car on someone else's video. And I thought it looked cool. So I kind of just reached out to the company and asked them if they'd be interested in working together, and believe it or not, they said yes. So I told them what I was looking at, and boom, here we go. They went ahead and sent me one. That was like on the 10th. I think today's the 21st, so 11 days ago from China, and it's already here, so that's pretty good if you ask me. If you were to order one, I would say that's about how long it would take, depending on what part of the state you live in or wherever you're at. I don't know. But it's pretty awesome if you ask me. Now, it's a kit you have to build, a tiny kit. So I hope you have fingers for tiny kits. And guess who doesn't? But that's okay. So now, a few minutes ago, I did open up this, well, actually, more than a few minutes ago, before I went to the store and came back. I did open up the controller and check it out, and I found out it's rechargeable. And it's actually pretty awesome, so I did charge it already. So I'm going to start with this because I was actually blown away with this here. It's got a lot going on, you'll see here in just a second. So now, the receiver here is tiny. Look at that little fella. I don't care for the way it's packaged here. You notice it's in this like big old container for such a small thing flopping around, but it should be fine. So then you got the charger that comes with it. I mentioned I've already charged mine, but it's this little USB charger, obviously. With it's got the same plug that my Galaxy S24 Ultra has, you know, so it's the newer Android type plug or whatever you call it. The little book does have English and Chinese. Now let's just get down to the business here. Now, this little feller has got some stuff going on. Now right here's where I seen, and I thought it was up to 6 channel at least. I knew that much, but according to that box, it could be 8 channel. It depends. I don't know, maybe 10. So some of these other buttons might do some stuff that I don't understand, because I mean there's other channels here too. So now like this here one I was thinking would be 3 or 4. It says SWA. The other one says SWB. Then up here we got a VRA and a VRB. So I guess you count all them, that'd be 3, 4. Up here's 5, 6, so then 7, 8, if you really count it. Because these turn, but they're not trims or nothing. Those are up here. So I got a lot to learn, but I'm gonna tell you something. This does not feel like some cheap little controller. If you're looking at it thinking, oh, that probably lightweight, cheap plastic, like a kid's toy. No, it doesn't feel that way. It actually feels quality made. It does. It's solid. It don't even sound hollow. It feels like there's good electronics inside of it, like it's full of electronics maybe. It's not super light or nothing, so let me go ahead and show you real fast the battery. This thing looks like a pretty good battery, actually. It's the biggest AA I've ever seen. Actually, let's see. Here's the AA for reference. It's a 3.7 volt, 1200 milliamp. Wow, wasn't expecting that. That ought to last a while, to be honest. So now, this is a 1/28th scale, and I think it's 3D printed, some of it. So, I don't know much else about it. All I've seen is 1 or 2 videos on it so far, and one of their videos is actually, for its size, it looked like it's got pretty decent speed. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be too fast, but surprisingly, it looked pretty quick. So let's just go ahead and set this right here for now. Oh yeah, one more thing to point out. When you charge the controller, when you plug it in, there is a tiny red light that comes on when it's low, and then when it gets fully charged, it turns green. Just in case you're wondering if it's going to turn green when you have it, you know, if you're charging one or something. So let's see what we got in this box to start with. Packed in there quite a bit of stuff. First off, we got the electronics and stuff. Let's try to get over here a little more light, I think, over here. There we go. So, we got the motor, a servo. Ooh, is that the ESC right there on the motor? Holy crap. Oops. Look at the size of that ESC right there. Wow. That will definitely be the smallest ESC I've ever seen. So, servo, motor, ESC, battery, charger. Okay. So this is your little charger. You just plug it right into your USB adapter or whatever, outlet. Wow. Pretty cool. I'm not sure what size this battery says it is. That's a 3.7, 20C rating. Really? Huh. Cool. So, alright, there's that. Got us an Allen wrench. One little bag of some stuff. Some brass bushings and whatnot for the steering, probably. So now, here's our tool bag and some more hardware. You got a set of tweezers. We got 2 screwdrivers, one Phillips, one flathead, I guess. Yep. And then, is that a box cutter? Yeah. So you got a box cutter that's got the long blades you can break off. But the fact that they give you that is actually quite impressive. How am I supposed to get it out of here without cutting that open? If it's on the inside, how am I going to get it out? No, I'm just kidding. Like, I got to cut this out, but I can't until I get it out. Oh. Alright, yeah, my jokes are corny. They're kind of like, they're grandpa jokes now. So, here we go. Look at the size of these bits and stuff. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, and I watched the video I was watching. Somebody else I seen that had got one of these sent to him. He broke one of these little tiny pieces, putting it together or something. So I know I have to be super careful with that. He threw in the towel after it broke too. He just kind of quit. I'm gonna tell you now, if mine breaks, we're gonna super glue the crap out of it. So we're not quitting until it's just too far gone. I'm gonna hopefully not break it. Maybe he got one that was just weak. Maybe we'll get lucky. It's got light buckets. I guess you can put lights in this thing, maybe. Might have to drill them out, but anyway, there's all them bits. Tires. Ooh, we got fatties for the back. I love it when you get fat tires in the back, regular ones in the front. Nice. I like that. Okay, now here's the main deal. That's a nice looking body there. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Look at that tube chassis frame. Wow, I like that. Again, this might be 3D printed, so I wouldn't go jumping it off of a 5-foot ramp or a 1-foot ramp. Maybe not even a 6-inch ramp, but I would just drive it normal. But man, this thing looks pretty cool. I don't know how I'm going to build it with my fingers don't like tiny screws, but we're going to give it the best go around we can. So now what else? We got just the instructions, I believe. Okay. Start with the servo and go to town, it says. Looks pretty detailed. I can use that. I can look at the pictures and figure this out. So that's what you get. Now on price, I'm thinking it was, if you get the controller and the car and everything together, it was just over $100, I think. I don't want to say the exact price. Well, don't quote me on it. It was around 104 or 108. I can't remember for sure. One or the other, I think. And I think if you were to get that goat cart that I was looking at, it's about the same. You can get one that had a driver, one that didn't. They were different as well. It wasn't the same one just without a driver. It was actually a different style of goat cart and a go-kart, not goat. But anyway, I think after we build this little sucker, we might try to get one of those as well. They looked really cool. So I guess I'll go ahead and start building it. What the heck? It's freezing cold outside. I ain't got nothing better to do right this minute. I mean, I could go in there and play some golf maybe. I might take a break from this and play golf. I don't know. My wife on Xbox X. If you thought I was going outside to play golf, you're crazy. I confused you, didn't I? Oh. It is chilly in there and outside. It's freezing cold tonight. I won't be doing no outdoor runs, that's for sure. So, let me go ahead and open up this little bag right here and see just what these consist of. Well, first we got to figure out how to get this knife out of here. Like I said, we got a knife, but it's trapped away. Oh boy, no. Dun, dun, dun. What is it, Lucy? You gotta go out. Let me let my dog out too. Alright, sorry for the shining light. Let me shut that off again every now and again. But so as you can see, we got it lit up there. I got it binded. I'm gonna tell you the issue. When you get this, there's nowhere in here telling you, that I've seen anyway, that tells you how to hook this up to where you know. First thing it tells you, step 1. You got to install this servo, and first you have to put the servo horn on here, and you got to put this little piece on here that tells you where this goes. Then you have to plug it in to get it zeroed in, you know, before you put the horn on, just like you always do. The problem is the little receiver, it tells you have to plug it in, bind it to the controller first. Well, but it don't tell you which one of these is the plug for the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So you don't know which one powers the ESC. You don't know which one powers the servo. Basically, I had to plug in the ESC to the battery, then go through and plug it in one at a time until it came on, because they're all 4 the same. And I figured it out. But it would be nice if they had 1, 2, or 3, 4, you know, just kind of marked on them, so that we know which one's number 2, because it's kind of hard to bind if you don't know how to plug in. And again, this here instructions is showing you an 8-channel receiver that comes with this controller, not the one they threw in there to go to this tiny little car. This one obviously is special for this little car, so not a big deal. And so you guys know, if you're looking at it like this, the bottom right corner is the number 2, and then the top right is the steering. So now you can actually hear it. So there we go. Now let me get my light on so I can go ahead and get this thing mounted. Alright, there's step one complete. Let's see if we can get it to where you can actually see what I'm doing here. You put this little thing around it, then you put the servo horn, you tighten it up, and then you can take this back off, and it's positioned right where it's supposed to be on the car. That's pretty neat. Now, we got to put one of these tiny little balls with a screw, a ball end, whatever you call it, on there next. Alright, y'all. We got the whole front setup done with the steering in it. I mean, we still got to put the wheels or whatever, but I want to point out one thing. They give you this little piece here that goes on your servo. This is supposed to help you line up your servo horn to the correct position for your steering and everything before you install it. So you slide this on over top of your servo. On the back here, it's got like a groove that kind of has a shape on the servo, so make sure that it sits just right. Then you slide your servo horn in there. I showed that in the video. Now the thing is, it's wrong. It makes it go straight up and down. So when you put it all together, your steering is cocked, and it's too far for your steering trim on the remote to fix. So I literally had to squeeze my screwdriver on in there, take the servo horn loose. It was not a big deal, and come over at least one click to the right, and now it's all straight while I'm centered on the controller. So you'll see right there that it's now like one click going to the right instead of straight up and down, which again, not a big deal, but the little thing they give you is incorrect. They should have put it in the right spot, because if you put it where they tell you to put it with that tool, your steering's going to be about like this right there. You see what I'm doing? See this? That's what it was. And then when you tried to zero it out with the trim, there wasn't enough to do nothing. It'd only go about to there. It's a real minute trace. So now we seem to have what we need. This thing's so tiny, but it's still cool. Even though these are 3D printed parts, they seem to be pretty strong, so I'll give them that as well. Compared to some of the stuff that I've printed with the cheaper filaments, this stuff is definitely better. It says on the box somewhere, or the pack, what they're made out of as well. I'll show you that after a while. So this is a little process, though, I'll tell you that. We're going to move on to whatever's next on this page. We've got all this and this and this all done, so we're over here now. Looks like we're moving on to the rear section. So, alright. Now, the way this back part goes is pretty neat. This little plate goes in here that your rear end pieces are going to mount to, motor and all. And it's just kind of spring loaded for suspension. That's pretty cool. Now, these were printed with pretty good precision, because like where the rear axle goes, there's a little bit of a wider angle at the bottom than there is the top, so it has to slide into this groove. It don't just sit there and screw on. It actually slides in and holds in place, and then you screw them in. So alright, now instructions kind of get a little backwards if you ask me. The excuse me, it's saying go ahead and install the motor first and the wheels and everything, which is fine, but it's not showing that the ESC is dangling from the motor on theirs, and then they go and they install a little spot here later for the ESC and all that while it's just flopping around, I guess. So I choose not to do that. I'm going to put the little spot where the ESC is going to go, so that when I put the motor in, I can make the ESC not flop around, and the receiver. But other than that, I mean, it ain't a big deal. I'm just going to change the order a little bit of how I build this, as long as there's nothing in the way of it. So far, everything's going pretty good. It is small stuff. Man, oh man. And I started having better luck once I quit using their little screwdriver, for whatever reason. I figured these things are so small that I probably didn't have no choice, but then I forget I got this awesome little kit. Cheap Walmart kit, but it's got plenty of options on little bits. And it way stronger magnetized bits and everything. Since I switched to that, it's been going a lot smoother. Because my hands, I just can't hold the screws. So anyway, this is supposed to be mounted right there already, and I'm still kind of waiting. I'm going to put this other part on first. Well, we're moving right along, but I doubt we're going to get her done tonight. It's already after midnight, but you'll see we got all this here buttoned in. We got the ESC and receiver in there. I don't like the way I had to figure it out. But they show you putting the receiver in there, but they don't show you plugging nothing in first. And if you don't, you can't put the battery top because it's like a lid that covers the plugs. I mean, it's, see if I can point my headlamp at the same time. There we go. So the receiver is up underneath in there. The ESC just kind of sticks out the back. At least that's the way I got mine. I just got it right down in there. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get the light to shine. There we go. So we got that. I got to run the shaft through the back, start working on the gears. I was supposed to put the motor shaft gear on already, but I wasn't sure which one's which, because I mean, we got gears just everywhere. Some were in packs, some weren't. So I mean, I'm trying to make sure I get the right ones figured out. I think they give us extra stuff also, so I don't really know. But we're getting it figured out. Because there's double screws, double wheel pieces. I mean, that's pretty handy that you get that extra stuff, for sure. Now we got a lot of work to do on these gears. Sorry, I know this light's killing. There we go. Cece creeping up on me because I'm talking to the camera. She's like, "What's going on over here? Did you say action?" Little diva. So, now front wheels. These are pretty cool. Nice setup they got going on. You got to put the a back piece goes inside the wheel here. Like so, down at the bottom. When you get it straight. Don't lose the bearing. And then the rim itself gets a bearing put in, which is really cool. And then you put the top on, and it holds that bearing in place. So you screw it from underneath. And then you got this with a bearing inside. You run the screw through, you use the spacer behind it to keep it sticking out. And yeah. You got a free spinning wheel with bearings, not just bushings, which is a plus. Well, alright, that's all I can handle for tonight. It's getting pretty close. We're going to get the rear tires and axle all together tomorrow. And then it's just buttoning up a few things. So, alright, y'all. Now, I'm not sure where we left off last night. I haven't got done editing the first part of this video or nothing yet, so I don't really know. But I did come in here and started working on this a little bit after dinner again tonight. We got the, pretty much we got the gist of it done. Hold on, let me just set this down so I can actually work here. I'm in the process now of just putting on this back tire. Did I actually screw that on it? No. We got all the chassis put together last night. We had it to this part, I believe. And then it was kind of a pain to get the screws down in there. I had to use my little tweezers, the good set, not the ones they give you. Just like these ones, you know, you got to get them all the way down in there. Well, the silver screws, they're aluminum, I guess. Or stainless or whatever. They don't stick to a magnet, whatever they are. So my screwdriver won't just hold them and line them right up. Not a big deal. We got them all in there. Used the tweezers. So now we're to the point of, we got the differential done. This is literally has a slip differential in the back the way it's done. The motor will turn this gear, but this gear will either turn the shaft or the tire, just depending on which one. And the shaft, by turning it, will turn this other tire, because you'll see there's a hole in the rim on each side. That is so we can put a screw and hold this onto the shaft once we get it in here. So that's pretty dandy. Now there ain't no bearings on this actual back shaft. The front does have bearings though. These little suckers will spin for a while. They're pretty cool. So all we got to do right here though, before we put that tire on, we just gotta slide that on, add a couple of screws real quick. Turn my headlamp back on. I hope it don't make the video too much blurred. If I do it with the other light, it makes a shadow and I can't see as good. So leave just a little play, obviously. You don't want it to be tight. You want it to wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's see if we can't get this to go in there. Luckily, the black screws are magnetic. Thank God for that. If it wasn't for that, that'd be a real pain to get these ones in there. I suppose that's all you need there. And now it take 3? Okay. Add 3 of them bad boys, I suppose. It never hurts. You could probably get away with just putting one to hold it, but if there's 3 holes, I'd put all 3. Just like when you mount a light in the kitchen. It's got screws around it to hold it up there. Still not the easiest task, but we'll get it. So let me go ahead and get this on there and slide that tire on, and then we'll see where we're at from there. So alright y'all, as you can tell, we are down to the final stage, I believe. Well, I didn't even look to see if there's any more. Nope. Alright, final stage. And that is peeling the plastic. That's awesome. Even on this little fella, we got plastic to peel. I like it a lot. Now, that looks pretty good. I think I did a good job. More importantly, I think they did a good job designing this little 3D printed masterpiece. So, alright y'all, what do you think of that little fella? I'll tell you, it's small, tiny, fragile, but it's actually pretty cool. It really is. I've just turned it on to make sure it works. It does work. I haven't done much yet, but I think this tube chassis build is just so cool looking. Everything about it. I need to adjust back here just a tiny bit where these 2 screws hold the rear end, because that's what does your suspension a little bit. And I keep noticing this tire is in the air somewhat, but I can get that adjusted. So again, I made sure that the steering works, which it works really good. It works good forward and back. To be honest, I think it's going to be quicker than I thought. Now, it doesn't do the donuts the other direction as good, because they have it's like a go-kart rear end where one tire spins way easier than the other. But it does spins good, and it's got pretty good pep. It's pretty quick for something this small that's 3D printed, you know. I'm pretty impressed with it. We'll take it out tomorrow. We'll make us a little track on the carport with them cones over there. I got a whole bunch of them cones, thanks to my buddy Mr. Eddie. He 3D printed all that for me a while back. I haven't really used them that much other than a few for decoration, so it'd be a perfect time to use them cones. Now, they give you all kinds of extra hardware with it, which is great. You can see there's some brass in there. They give you extra brass that goes behind the front wheels Even the long screws that hold the front wheels on, they give you a few extra ones of those, like 3 actually. You get some servo horns that you really don't need. They don't, I guess they came with the servo, so they just threw them in there. But all kinds of extra screws, extra gears in case you strip one on the rear end, stuff like that. So, you know, hey, pretty good deal, to be honest. I kind of would like to see maybe them throw in some extra A-arms on an extra part tree or something, because the video I seen that had me reach out about this was RC Revealed, and he broke his steering links trying to build it and never got to enjoy it because of that. So it would have been nice if they maybe just throw it in a couple extra parts in case you crash it or drop it or build it and break it, whatever. But anyway, it's a pretty cool deal. And if you already got a controller and a little receiver, you know, like the Orlando Hunters or whatever them trucks are, then you can just buy the car. You can buy them separate. I don't have all the details on it, but I did see it on their site separate, you know. And then this controller, to be honest, I think it's really good. I thought at first, you know, it was going to be like super lightweight or something, and it's really not. It's not heavy, but it's not light. It feels solid. It's nice. I like it. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but it's 8 channel also. I kind of was not sure in the beginning of the video, but this has already been a whole nother day. So you got obviously your steering is 1, your throttle is 2, then you got 3, 4, and then up top you got 5, 6, then right here this is 7 and 8. So you got 8 channels, and it's pretty handy. So alright, y'all, that's long enough. We'll get the run video of it tomorrow, and until then, I will catch y'all on the next one. So please like, subscribe, share, comment, click on the link in the description below. I'll have that in there, and whatever else, I don't know. And I will catch you on the next one. Thanks again, everybody. Peace.